Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Salt Mines, the show where we delve into the strange debacle of people's experience when playing a very taxing, high-speed, high brain power, high-octane, real-time strategy game. And we're starting off here. We've got Thyakulus in the bottom left, and his opponent, their opponent, Sad Kangaroo, in the top right, already saying, "I won't Oracle if you don't mute her." Okay, so a bit of a trade has been placed on the table at the very start of this game. I appreciate it. Thyakulus says, "Sure," and accidentally caps, apparently. So Thyakulus is like, all right, let's do it. Then we can tell this is a pretty high-level game. Both players chatting at the start and just kind of figuring out their basics of their opening. I think this is looking like a silver or gold league game, maybe somewhere around there. And you know what? All right, we'll see. Now, personally, I've got to say, guys, if you go into any sort of sport and you say, "Hey, I'm really bad against this thing, can you please not do it?" I would argue that due to the competitive nature of the world, you are kind of basically putting yourself in a situation where people are going to do it to you. Probably not the smartest move to tell your opponents your weakness, but hey, we'll see exactly how it goes. Nice little blocky block there, but Thyakulus does still get the expansion down after the pull in the gas. Everything on like 14 supply. A bit of a Yauchi opening. So Sad Kangaroo's opening looks a little bit more pro, as far as I can tell so far. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about the show as these guys just get warmed up. Looks like macro openings for both sides. I would imagine we'll probably see a Nexus soon anyway. So what did we learn so far in this show? Now, just to give you guys a quick rundown, if you haven't seen all the episodes, a couple of high points. Rock has no counter. Don't ever answer the phone in the middle of cannon rushing someone. These were a few of the first lessons that we learned. So the thing is, it's not just about laughing at people getting angry in video games. It's a very taxing game. And we learn a lot. Excuse me. Oh my. Excuse me, guys. We learn a lot about basically the inane excuses that you can come up with, but also how you can handle your mentality and find victory in the losses. And I'm not really sure. You know, a lot of people look at these games, they go, "Oh, these guys are losers, they're making excuses, they're not taking responsibility for their losses." But there's a part of me that truly believes these players who are making these excuses and making these complaints and getting angry at their opponents, some of them do seem to find a way of like doing some mental gymnastics to backflip over the fact that they lost the game. And I feel that in the end of the game, they really don't believe they lost and they think they won. So I think we can learn something, and it's really a study of humanity, you know? Think about it, right, guys? Right early on, what do we see? If the opponent harasses you with 2 adepts at the 5-minute mark, that's an all-in. That's an adept all-in, right? You can always just redefine the terms. And I really, what I like, right, is a lot of people, they say, "Hey, man, you know, the world is solid. It's in a real state. Yes, there's a hole in that wall. I was wondering." I wonder if Sad Kangaroo realizes. It's like, your Stalker did just literally move through that opening. Please build another structure there. Anyways, the point is, if you guys really truly believe, you can actually change the state of reality. And that is what we learn from a lot of these players in this show, in the Salt Mine. So obviously, never prioritize BM over macro. We've seen people insult their opponents and then in the middle of that lose their army. You know, apparently also, I'm very ashamed of clan members for winning games with sick comeback plays. People have said Pig would be ashamed of you. So absolutely true. I was ashamed of that player. Also, if you want to really insult your opponent, remember, guys, you can always spell words with pylons or hatcheries or buildings on the map. So when they scout it on the map, it can say F you, you know, lick my nuts. It's really up to you. The longer the insult, the harder it is to do, though. It does take a lot of setup as well. So anyway, let's talk more about this game and see what's going on. So far, Sad Kangaroo said, "I won't Oracle if you won't mute her." It is going Robo at 3 gates. So actually, yeah, it's playing ground, adding Twilight, and actually macroing, not too bad. A little slow on the probing, but overall not too bad. Thyakulus is going for a 3rd hatchery, is getting up queens on each base, Lair, Roach Warren. It feels like they're both kind of going generally in the right paths. Just, you know, low APM players, so it's not the smoothest macro or anything. But overall, it's like, hey, look, Overlord Scouts going in, Stalkers are cleaning it up. This is a lot better than I was expecting, guys. I'm going to be real. Both players have also used control groups for multiple buildings. Like, for the Protoss, for the Zerg, yeah, multiple buildings, even the spawning pools on a control group. How cool is that? Like, these players are actually using control groups. I like it. I like it. Now, I do wonder if when this lair finishes, Theoculus just drops a Spire and goes 15 meters. Because I wouldn't hold it against him. It's a 1v1 competitive situation. You're literally doing a war game. Now, if your opponent says, don't do the thing, please, and you do it, hats off to you. You're using every advantage there. I don't see any issue with it at all. But we'll see if that is indeed the case. Has forgot to put on gas, but no, Evos are going down. So it looks like Theoculus is going to play a Roach game. And you know what? Gentleman's agreement. This is this weird thing, which I feel like if you're in the middle leagues, you will never run into anyone who will do this and just be like, okay, I won't play it if you don't do the thing. But there is a point somewhere in Silver or Gold League where a surprising number of people, maybe 50% will be like, F you, your mum's fat, in response to it. But the other 50%, you guys let me know. Maybe the ratio, you think it's a bit lower or higher than that based on your experience. But this is my perception based on the games that I see, is there's a surprising number of people who'll be like, oh yeah, no worries. All right, I won't play Mutas, you don't play Oracles. Oh, we'll have a good old ground war today. And hey, we're going to see exactly where it goes. So far, very low interaction game as well. Now, they haven't said no rush 20. Thank the Lord. But it is getting to no rush 8 minutes. So we're getting to that point where we're going, okay, let's see who's better at macroing. Now, let's also look at the interaction. So after the Overlord scouting, we're on the Zerg player's camera. Zero vision on the other side of the map, but sending some Zerglings to at least help rectify it. Protoss player, on the other hand, also zero vision on the other side of the map, despite having two literal invisible units whose whole job is to go scout. The Zerglings, they didn't really scout so much as funnel into the meat grinder and get torn up by those Zealots there. The Zealots deal with it. Protoss players building pylons out here, thinking about a third base. Going for Zealot Archon, so a pretty decent composition. 1-1 Roach for the Zerg. Zerg's actually up on 3 bases saturation now, which is not too bad. All right. Storm coming in. Okay, so we're going to see Immortal Charge Storm up against Zerg. Now, the cool thing here, right, is the Zerg army, very meaty. You can kind of A-move it, but that means it'll be clumped up and die to Storm really hard. On the other hand, if you stutter step back, the Zealots will charge really far in front of the High Templar and Immortals. You can kill them individually. There's no second Robo for the Protoss, so the Protoss hasn't really upped their production in a big way. And you can see that there's a lot of idle probes. There must be, because the saturation's a little bit low on these bases. No third taken. There we go. Third base does go down. And I think the Protoss army is way better value. If you can get up enough Immortals and Psystorm, that'll be huge. But there's no High Templar made right now. And Sad Kangaroo is adding a lot of Stalkers, which we all know are very, very low value units. Zealots, Immortals, Archons, High Templar, way better units. So, I mean, you've been given your wish, right? Mutas would destroy you right now. They would fly in and kill all your probes. You wouldn't have any, you've got no Blink, no Phoenix, nothing to deal with that. High Templar are now warping in, but I mean, you've been given your wish. So we're going to see how Sad Kangaroo deals with it. Theoculus is macro falling apart a little bit here as the money's banking up like crazy. But Hydra upgrades are on the way. You've got 1-1, Roach feed, pack of little roaches is out. What am I looking at over here? Oh, this is definitely Silver League, guys. You guys know I talk about Silver League cannons. I haven't seen this version of Silver League cannons before where you're like, you know what? We're not going to wall off the back of our main. We're going to wall off this part. Technically, a run by could come from here, but like it's literally from the corner of the map. It's like, your opponent's down there, right? Like, like this I can get behind. It's still very weirdly placed, creating this little miniature wall, but I can get behind it. As Stargate and a Robo Bay coming down. So rather than just doubling down on the Mortal Storm production, Sad Kangaroo is doing the typical thing low-level players do. Rather than taking their army, making it stronger and going for an attack, Sad Kangaroo's like, I'll just build one of everything now and wait until you come across the map and kill me, basically. And usually I always point out, like, whoever attacks first in low levels, like, and it just has a plan and commits to it, it's like, bam, you zoom right through the low levels, because so many players are just too afraid to commit to anything or make a decision. Now, Theoculus, I wouldn't really call this an attack. It's more of a poke, because it's not very many roaches. It's going to move forward. I mean, Psystorm could absolutely kick his butt here, but so could the Immortals. This army's in a really bad position as Sad Kangaroos. Gets a couple of nice storms down, does almost kill his own Observer, but not quite. And the Immortals and the Stalkers should be able to deal with this. Colossus are on the way right now, as well as Plasma Shields. Theoculus there, committing to a very small Roach attack, but man, no injects, no lava, so much money floating. But on the plus side, triple macro hatch going down. This is about as slow and chilled out a game as you could possibly get. Like, you're hopping on the ladder, and yet somehow this game to me feels like you've queued against your friend and neither of you wants to like ruin the other one's playing experience by going too hard. So you're both just kind of like building things. You're like, I'm gonna get some lasers and some Psystorms, this sort of stuff. It's it's a very special experience. It's something I sometimes miss, you know. I'm out there playing on the ladder. To go 10 minutes without really messing with each other at all is kind of insane. Now, Sad Kangaroo's going to push out with what can best be described as the worst move out I've ever seen in my life. The army is so small. It's spread out so thin. There's no warping point. Everything's... What is this move out? This is the worst army movement I've ever seen in my life. Sad Kangaroo is literally just invested in so much tech. None of it's out on the map yet. And it's just move commanded across the map into the enemy territory. What am I looking at? Go home and build more army, mate. Oh my god, where's the storm? Storm! The High Templar goes down without storming. Sad Kangaroo moving across the map at a completely nonsense timing, but Thiaculus doesn't have the numbers to deal with it. Nonetheless, though, these are very expensive Protoss units. Sad Kangaroo's like, hey, I'm winning. I better keep going. Dude, you've got 3 units on creep in the Zerg territory. Get out of there. Go home. Go home. Protoss units, get stronger the more you have. Keep building Immortals and Storm and things. Okay, more High Templar are morphing. Is going to get more Storm. I mean, this army beats Roach Hydra. If you can get enough numbers, go fight with the batteries and the cannons. Thiaculus is basically on pure Roach and unable to spend the money right now. 24 lava available, though. One big round of production and Thiaculus can really smash. Thiaculus is chilling right now, respreading the creep tumors a little bit, trying to get some map control. That gives Sad Kangaroo the time they need. Sad Kangaroo is building Phoenix. Right now, Sad Kangaroo is so traumatized by Mutalisks. All Sad Kangaroo is thinking about is, what if Mutas come? What if Mutas come? What if Mutas come? I need to have Phoenix. I need to have Phoenix. I need to have Phoenix. Oh. But he's adding gateways. Wait. Did we just make all the High Templar into Archons? No, you need more Psystorm, buddy. You want to have like 5-6 High Templar for Psystorm. The army is also standing out in the middle of no man's land where it could get jumped on. I mean, honestly, Sad Kangaroo can build such a better quality army, but Sad Kangaroo is at 74 probes on 3 base. Massively oversaturated, needs to get the 4th base up. And Thiaculus, just massing roaches right now, finally is going to be moving forward. No Hydras in that comp, which is probably advisable just because there's so much splash damage. Kangaroo is going to be able to deal with this army. Sad Kangaroo coming on in there with a big old A move. These roaches are going to be mega clumped. The Psystorms could ruin this. Oh no, Sad Kangaroo behind you, mate! Behind you! Storm it! Storm it! Okay, big storm. 1 Colossus falls, but just 1 or 2 more storms would end the game. But there's no storm energy. Okay, storm energy's kicked in. And he's move commanding! He's move commanding the army on top, not dropping any storms. He could have killed it all. Oh no, Sad Kangaroo with some horrendous army control. Oh my god, and really needs to go back into just Immortals or Disruptors would ruin this army. Colossus are not very effective versus Roaches, but is still voting Colossus. Also, upgrade-wise, let's hats off to the Zerg. 2-2 upgrades versus just +1 attack, +1 shields. Sad Kangaroo really needs to pull back and get some explosive splash damage to get back in this game. There's still some cannons peppered around, but not that many. Thiaculus just making roaches, making hydras, and he's going to smash forwards and should be able to overwhelm this, really. Yeah, there's not enough zealots to deal with that, so the roaches are going to just smash through. The Phoenix able to disable a few roaches for 7 seconds. That does not do that much, and this looks like it should be a massive victory for Thiaculus. Now, Thiaculus, I got to say, hats off to you, mate. Maybe you were planning to make Mutas, maybe you weren't. Said, yeah, I'm not going to play Mutas. I'm happy to play the challenge. You don't play Oracles. Just as gone Roaches. Sad Kangaroos had their wish. And now says Roach spam OP. Oh, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. Hey, how dare you, who I requested not build Mutas, go for Roaches. No skill? No skill? Did you look at your move out? Guys, what? You said no muta. Noob, says Sad Kangaroo. You noob, you did what I requested. And then you still kicked my ass. Lol GG, says Thiaculus. Oh no, Thiaculus on a bit of move command, but that's all right. Some big storms come in. Once again, Sad Kangaroo moving into the open with an army that should have been sheltering in the choke point, using the architecture to their advantage. And Sad Kangaroo gonna type out lol noob. Remember guys, as you're losing the game, if you tell your opponent that they're bad at the game, what does that make you? Bet good, get good. Lol noob, get good. That's what I'm trying to do, says Thiaculus. Meanwhile, Colossus rallying into the roaches. You don't get better by spamming roaches. You do it by building random cannons and batteries and Nexus hiding around the map. Protoss spams carriers, but I don't build air because it's OP. It's like, wait. So what did you want Thiaculus to build? I would love, please tell us more. Every other Protoss spams air, but I don't spam air. Okay, so Sad Kangaroo's saying, look, I don't spam air. I'm trying to get better at the game. Thackless is like, well, and so am I. Like, Sad Kangaroo's like, but you can't do that by just making roaches. Thackless is like, well, so according to you, I can't mute her and I can't roach? Okay, please, more info, more info. Sad Kangaroo's like, no, you can't. Should I just only build Zerglings then? I just didn't think you were noob gold. You play like bronze. I love that Thioculus is just like curiously asking for more info, and Sad Kangaroo is just like, you play like bronze. I didn't want to kill you at 4 mins, so I let you do this. So I didn't kill you at 4 minutes. I could have done it. But I didn't. I chose not to. Yeah. And right now, Sad Kangaroo is also hiding buildings around the map. So Sad Kangaroo, at this point, has already started to do what we learned last week, and that is move the goalpost. Right now, Sad Kangaroo's goalpost is if I can waste enough of my noob opponent's time, then I count as winning the game. Thackless like, well, that is your problem, right? You can't go into a ranked game and expect to just not let someone win, right? No, it's not about that. It's not that, no. I wasn't asking you to let me win, but you are going roach spam just because I don't spam. Ah, okay, so in Thioculus' brain, the only way to beat roaches is to make air units, even though Thioculus had amazing unit comp to smash this. Literally just needed to build a few more Immortals, a few more High Templar for Storm, maybe some Archons in there. Would have been the easiest win of all time. Archon Immortal Storm slays Roach Hydra. But there was like 2 Immortals and then just swapped into pure Colossus, never reinforced the army, never added the Archons, and was also just way behind on the supply as well. Not really. I didn't kill you at 4. Okay, so Sad Kangaroo is like, look, I didn't kill you at 4 minutes. I could have one base 4-gated you. I could have also got an Oracle. I could have done these things, and then you just take advantage of me. I'm here playing the rules. I said, don't go muter. Yeah, you didn't do it, but then you just abused the fact that I said I wasn't going to play Oracle. It's like, well, you didn't say you weren't going to play Void Rays or Carriers. Roach Hydra's a really standard army. This is like complaining that your opponent massed Marines, Zerglings, or Zealots. It's like, dude, they made basic units. They are some of the most short-term counterable units in the game. If your opponent makes like mass Marine, and you're like, man, that's just unfair. I can't beat that. It's like, you know, anything with splash damage beats that. And it's like, same with roaches. It's like, splash damage is very effective and Immortals destroy them. And the only way they can really counter Immortals is by running forwards clumped up and trying to quickly focus the Immortals down, which means they're so weak to Archons, Storms, Disruptors, anything like that if they try to jump forwards. I do love, though, that Sad Kangaroo is like really just playing the best that Sad Kangaroo's played so far this game in terms of just hiding probes around, trying to build Nexi everywhere, really doing a very good job. And Thioculus here, let's be real, buddy. I think we could have split this army up a while ago, my friend. I think we could do it. Where is your creep, says Sad Kangaroo. This is like really good creep spread for Gold League, guys. It's an incredibly good creep spread for Gold League, especially since the game was basically over at like 12 minutes. Sad Kangaroo's like, yeah, you don't even have those good stats. Like, I'm trying to think of like an analogy of someone like, it's like you're literally, you've played 10 games of tennis ever, and like the person's like, oh, you can't even hit 200-kilometer serve, like peasant. You're like, what? We don't even really know the rules of the game. We're just hitting the ball back and forwards, man. Like we barely understand what we're doing in this league. Like this is the equivalent of like basically the league where you're like, hey, we figured out how to like fry an egg, you know, we figured out how to like basically like, you know, sear some chicken. Like we're in the very first week of cooking school and the person's like, you don't even know how to make proper French onion soup, you fucking peasant. Like, excuse me, you don't even know how to like chop apart like a chicken carcass and like get all the different cuts apart. You don't even know how to fillet a fish. You're like, no, I don't, man. Roach spamming cuck. Oh, he's tapped into it. I'm still working on that. I'm still relatively new. Watching a lot of the BDGM videos. I'm hoping to slowly improve. Thioculus right now is just having a calm, reasonable conversation with somebody who is completely out of their mind. Roach spamming cuck. Lol. I love that Sad Kangaroo keeps going lower and lower. Before it's like, hey man, I didn't build air units. You abused me with mass roaches. It's a bit delusional, but it's at this point it's just gone to like buzzword insults there. Yeah, against me, the only Protoss that doesn't spam air UMass roaches. He's like, well, I normally add hydras, and it stops there. Where were those? It's like, dude, you were making Colossus. You were going mass Colossus. You're like, why didn't you build the unit that I counter with my army? Thaglis was like, well, you didn't have air units. You had all Storm and Colossus. I only added a few since you didn't have any air. The upgrades were ready for it, though. I love this. Thaglis, like, remember, you really need... I think what Thaglis is teaching us, guys, remember, you need your opponent to accept that you outplayed them and to admit it and understand it. And Thaglis right now, I got to say, for anyone out there who's... maybe your parents went to get some cigarettes, they went down to the corner store to go buy something and they never came home. Just remember, guys, much like Thaglis, if you just keep on trying to get their respect, attention, love, and really just, get them to commit to you as a father or a mother figure, as that parental figure, it's going to go well. It's a fruitful way to spend your time and resources, and they're absolutely worthy of your time, much like Sad Kangaroo. Thaglis, you need to get that, you need to get that admission from Sad Kangaroo, or it doesn't count as a win for you. So just remember, we are learning not only from our ragey player who has got some absolutely inane and ridiculous excuses, we're also learning from the player that's actually winning the game. And Sad Kangaroo finally there leaves the game and goes, wasted 10 minutes of your time. Once again, the player who got the defeat screen, let's be real, in their mind, completely won the game. Absolutely big brain and intelligent play. Tell me, guys, have you ever... Guys, girls in the chat, have you ever wasted people's time? Have you ever sunk as low as Sad Kangaroo there? Be honest. I think I might have done it a few times when I was younger. When someone, usually if they were a big dick to me beforehand, I never did it in this sort of scenario where they didn't ask for it at all. But let me know. Admit it. We want some confessions in the comments. If you guys enjoy videos of people being ragey, salty whiners, check out some of the other videos on the screen. Give them a click. Check out some of them are actually so ridiculous. And send in your replays down below in the description. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye and good night.